Thank you, and thank you to the ranking member for yielding the time. I rise today to oppose the Scott Amendment and urge the House the excessive cuts to the nonprofit and independent legal services corporation. I'm right in sync with the ranking member's comments and appreciate the Republican committee chair's opposition to this amendment as well. Legal services has a mission to provide equal access to the system of justice in America. It is the most important provider of civil legal aid for Americans who cannot afford high-priced legal counsel. In fact, legal representation often is out of reach for many American families. This amendment will make the lives of millions of American families even more challenging. Plus, if you take away legal counsel, you also complicate the resolution of disputes for businesses and others as well. Now, you all know legal services is not a Washington-based bureaucratic program. To the contrary, there are legal aid attorneys and professionals in every state with more than 800 offices. Legal services monies are put to work back home across America outside of Washington. In my Tampa Bay community, Bay Area Legal Services has a number of community-based offices and are helping the wheels of justice turn for everyone. What type of legal help? Foreclosure, consumer assistance, domestic violence. Many of the domestic violence victims are simply trying to keep their children safe and their families together. Others include veterans returning from war, families with housing issues, those that are hit hard by natural disasters and are dealing with the aftermath, and families involved in child custody disputes. I've seen these advocates in action, and many members of Congress actually refer cases to legal services groups in our areas. They help families navigate the justice system, and they also boost the economy through avoided cost and swift resolution of disputes. I'd also like to remind that legal services has already undergone significant cuts, as mentioned by the chairman, over the past few years. The chairman's mark of $350 million is a 4% cut from current funding. Funding for legal services was $420 million in fiscal year 10. It was cut especially after sequestration in 2013, and any further cuts will do severe damage. This amendment jeopardizes access to justice and the rule of law. There have already been layoffs back home, closed offices, reduced services, and what you're doing there is you're saying to families, you can't get help. You can't avoid a foreclosure. You can't escape an abusive relationship or defend yourself against consumer scams. We cannot allow hundreds of thousands of veterans, elderly victims of foreclosure, women and children desperate to escape domestic violence to be denied assistance. So I strongly urge a no vote on the Scott Amendment, and I yield back the balance of my time to Mr. Fattah.